Yeah, thank you so much. So, like I was saying, the reason we get out of bed every morning is we want to accomplish something. We want to do something productive with that day. If that purpose does not exist, so then there are other sorts of problems that happen and lead to a lot of psychosomatic disorders as well. तो जब भी हम कोई काम करने के लिए निकलते हैं या सोचते हैं या उस पे काम करना शुरू करते हैं, we have a purpose in mind. There is an end goal in mind. So I just want you to contemplate on the fact that what, according to you, whatever you have read, heard, experienced so far in your practice of yoga sadhana, आपके हिसाब से what is the end goal of yoga? Okay, so just take a while and whatever answers come up in your mind, accept those. सही गलत की बात नहीं है यहाँ पे, आप अपने एक्सपीरियंस से और अपने पर्सपेक्टिव से आपको कोई जवाब मिलेगा, तो उसमें कुछ सही नहीं है, उसमें कुछ गलत भी नहीं है. ओके, एंड थोड़ा हम इसको इंटरैक्टिव रखेंगे, तो whoever would want to volunteer can unmute and share जो भी आपका पर्सपेक्टिव है. Nobody is here to judge what you are going to say, so please feel free to unmute. Sheetal ji wants to share, so please welcome Sheetal ji.
Morning.
Good morning.
So I feel that we do asanas to keep our body healthy. Correct. So that we can do our duties well. If we are healthy, we would be able to do our duties well. And also in the process, with the peace that we get through asana and pranayama, we may get closer to our ultimate goal of self-realization or nirvana. I mean, at least for me, I think I would like to inch forward towards that goal.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else? Maybe we can take one or two more persons' feedback or experience sharing if you want to. Koi compulsion nahi hai. If you want, if you share, it will become a more enriching experience because aapko different perspectives janne ko milenge. So if anybody wants to share, do that. Otherwise, we'll go forward. Anybody? Okay, I see Renuka ji coming closer to the screen. Ji ma'am.
Good morning. For me, I think it's more of lost the way you look at your body. So yoga gives me that outlook. This is the way it's supposed to be. This is the way you're supposed to look after your body. And rightly, as Sheetal said, it's more about realizing your mental health as well. So for me, it's more towards that peace that you get by doing this and realizing a little more than we commonly do in our day-to-day life. Reaching out there is the goal.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Renuka ji. Anyone else? I could take one last sharing maybe. Nidhi ji has unmuted, I think. Ji boliye ma'am.
Hi. For me, it's more like mind-body balance. In body, we do asanas like for stretching and all. I do have some back issues, so I'm hoping it will help out. And then for peace and to be grounded, I think the pranayama is important.
Thank you for sharing, ma'am. Okay, अगर कोई बोलने वाला था और तीसरे ने बोल दिया तो don't hold back. If you want to share, I think Manasa wants to share something. We'll hear her out.
Yes, I mean, it is similar to what the first two participants has said. A state which we all want to attain, or most of whoever is aware of the concept of moksha, nirvana, they want to attain. But then that is too far of a journey, I would say, from my perspective. So I use yoga sadhana and yoga as a way of life so that I become more conscious about what I'm doing every single second and minute of my day. And by doing it while getting enriched with that consciousness, I want to be helpful in some way to the world around. Because that, for me, there are two ways of looking at things. Jab ghar acha hai, everyone around that place will be healthy. When you emit that energy, everything else will fall into place, and you contribute some or the other way to the society around you and to the world around you. You cause a positive vibration from yourself. There's a second way of doing it, which is you try to bring awareness amongst people. So you try to do on a mob level. So there are two levels of doing it your personal level and trying to also enrich lives of others on a mob level. So two ways of doing it. So yoga sadhana, I feel, is the first way of it, where you enrich your experiences of living and be conscious while doing so, so that you automatically create a wave of impact to everyone around. And by doing so, I think slowly we will inch forward. I feel that I might be able to inch forward into attaining that self-realization, or because I'm not sure how that's going to feel like or look like, but maybe a step closer to a much farther goal. So that's a short-term goal for this life is at the moment.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Mansa. Thank you for everybody who shared. I'm very glad I started with the question because आप सबने सुना अपने आप को भी और दूसरों को भी, and you would realize that more or less we are all talking about the same thing, maybe different facets or different aspects, but it is all coming together as a whole. Okay, so to summarize everything that has been said, it is beautifully summarized in one of the definitions of yoga जो हम इस क्लास में बोलते रहते हैं, yoga चित्त वृत्ति निरोधः. Okay, so to simplify what that means is कि हमारा जो mind है, हमारा जो heart है, हमारा जो overall thinking mechanism है, उसमें जब कोई नया thought आता है, कोई emotion आता है, कोई नया experience आता है, तो it creates ripples. जैसे still water है, कोई lake है, कोई pond है, उसमें आप पत्थर मारोगे तो वो ripples create करेगा. Likewise, जब हमारे साथ कोई भी घटना होती है, कोई एक्सपीरियंस होता है, तो वो हमारे माइंड में एक पूरा एक एनर्जी फील्ड क्रिएट करता है. ओके, और उस एनर्जी के साथ में वी कीप गोइंग फॉरवर्ड. Now, if we are not aware of the effect that that energy field is creating within us, it can have effects at the physical level, at the gross body level. It will have an effect at the subtle body or the Sukshma Sharir level, which we speak about in this class a lot. And it is going to affect how we relate not just to others, but also to ourselves. So I really liked how Sheetal ji took it from the gross body to the subtle body level, even though she may not have thought of those terms. तो because the gross body, हम अपने आप को अपनी body के साथ बहुत closely relate कर सकते हैं. So I keep reading things on people's status and I think I attract the right things to read. तो लोग ये share करते रहते हैं कि you are not a body with a soul, you are a soul with a body. Okay, so the key thing to remember is that you are a soul that is inhabiting this body for a limited period of time. लेकिन आपकी वो जो journey है as a mortal being who is going to have an end someday, which we don't know when it will arrive, but as a mortal being आपकी जो journey है, उसके लिए बहुत जरूरी है कि आप physically अच्छे state में रहें. क्योंकि अगर आप physically बहुत ही तनाव वाले, टेंशन वाले स्टेट में है, if you're not able to operate without pain, without discomfort physically, then there is no way that you will be able to dig deeper. Which is why in Ashtang Yoga, जो 8 limb है, Ashta means 8, so there are 8 limbs of Ang means limbs. So Ashtang means literally means 8 limbs. तो Ashtang Yoga के जो 8 limb है, उसमें आसन precedes प्राणायाम. क्योंकि अगर आप शारीरिक तौर पर ठीक नहीं है, स्थिर नहीं है, स्टेबल नहीं है, तो आप मन के लेवल तक नहीं पहुंच पाएंगे. Then comes pranayam, because once the body is able to sit still, अगर आपको बोला जाए कि आपको बैठ के प्राणायाम करना है तो बैठने होना चाहिए, पीठ सीधी रखने होना चाहिए, सांस पे ध्यान देने के लिए आपको उतना फिजिकल लेवल ऑफ एबिलिटी आपको सर्टेन चाहिए. Then comes pratyahar, which is a bridge between the first 4 limbs and the other 3 limbs. I have a reel on that. If you want, I'll share that with you. You can go through the caption in detail. So pratyahar is when you withdraw from the senses. Shavasana is a very good example of pratyahar, which is why you speak to anyone who has studied a little bit of yoga, scriptures will tell you that Shavasana is the most difficult asana to do. It is everybody's favorite क्योंकि करना कुछ नहीं होता है, ऐसा हमको लगता है कि कुछ करना नहीं है, बस हो गया, क्लास खत्म हो गई, I've earned this, now I'm going to relax. Okay, but Shavasana is the most difficult asana because you are expected to play dead. How difficult is that? तो कभी कभी मैं शवासन में बोलती हूँ, forget that you have a body, forget that you have a to-do list, forget that you have to do anything at all, and be in that zone for some time of those 5-7 minutes of shavasana. Because the difference that it can make, not just to your physical body but to your mind, is unparalleled. No asana can give you that. Okay, so pratyahar is withdrawal of senses, and then comes dharana, dhyan and samadhi. So what Sheetal ji said and what others also said is that you reach a certain level of awareness from wherein you can attain moksha. So the last limb is samadhi. तो योगा के जो सारे 8 लिम्ब है अष्टांग योग के, उन सब का पर्पस ये है कि वो हमको समाधि के लेवल तक लेकर जा सके. Now again, I read something very beautiful on somebody's status coincidentally yesterday. It is a line by Gulzar Saab. I'm a big fan of Gulzar Saab. And it said that बहुत अंदर तक चोट पहुंचाती हैं वो शिकायतें जो बयां नहीं होती. So, you know, you might have complaints, you might have grudges, you might have unfinished business, you might have a lot of hurt. All of us have a lot of hurt that we are harboring within, which we've not been able to express. Sometimes that hurt is against a person who may no longer be alive. तो आपके पास में वो अपॉर्चुनिटी भी नहीं है कि आप जाके उनसे एक्सप्रेस कर लें या आप झगड़ लें या किसी तरह से वो बाहर आए, right? So we are carrying those things which there are beautiful words in Sanskrit that English can never do justice to. Samskar is one of those words. जैसे गर्भ संस्कार आपने सुना होगा, as a शब्द आपने सुना होगा. So we are carrying those impressions. हर बार कुछ हुआ, वो ripple create हुआ. It has created an impression and samskar on the soul itself. All right? And then हम वो पहले का भी कैरी करके आए हैं. That is why we are in this world as a mortal being, because last जन्म का या उसके पहले के जन्म का अभी बैलेंस शीट क्लियर नहीं हुआ है. So we are carrying that baggage forward, and if we keep carrying it, then this cycle of birth and death and rebirth goes on continuing. All right, so when yoga takes you to samadhi, the idea is that you free yourself from this, so that you not only live this life peacefully, you also die without any strings attached. Yeah, beautiful expression, no strings attached. Because every time you're holding on to something, it is keeping you. I have seen people in my family, we keep hearing of people are bedridden, people are in coma for years. प्राण नहीं छूटते हैं. My mother says this, I don't know, मैंने उसके बारे में पढ़ा नहीं है, but she says कि if somebody is dead with their eyes open or even partly open, it is an indication that they were waiting to meet somebody. You know, maybe somebody who stays abroad, somebody they wanted to meet before bidding goodbye to the world, but they couldn't meet, तो उनकी आंखें खुली रह जाती हैं. So they say कि अगर ऐसा होता है तो it is advisable कि आप उनकी आंखें बंद कर दो, so that they're going with their eyes shut. I don't know whether that gives somebody a closure or not, because the moment the pran tyag dena, matlab the soul has left the body. So I don't know whether that works, but my mom believes in this very strongly. So if there are strings attached, if there are things holding you into this mortal world, जिसको हम क्लेश भी बोलते हैं, we have a session on pancha klesha. I'll be happy to share it on the group later. So it is going to hold you back. Now, when I attended this session on forgiveness meditation, it was conducted by health coach Luke Coutinho, and one of the things, he works very closely with cancer patients. Okay, now cancer has become so common, unfortunately, कि हर किसी के पहचान में कोई ना कोई होगा जिसको कैंसर हुआ होगा, कोई होगा जिसने सर्वाइव किया होगा for various reasons, कोई होगा जिसने नहीं किया होगा for various reasons. But Luke Coutinho, I remember very clearly sharing in that session that people who have a lot of emotional baggage, who have a lot of unfinished business, will find it very difficult to bounce back from something as degenerative as cancer. And there are research studies on this. कि अगर आपका mind बहुत बड़ा role, आपका will power बहुत बड़ा role play करता है in how you fight any disease. We taking the example of cancer because that is what I heard him say, and also because we know that cancer itself, the word itself can be so overwhelming कि किसी को पता चल जाए कि आपको कैंसर है, तो that in itself can break a person emotionally. Physically जो होगा वो बाद में होगा, emotionally it can break a person. So he mentioned this, he emphasized on this a lot, that our emotional state of mind has a lot to do with how our body copes or recovers from anything that is thrown at our way. So one of the things that I thought we will do in this session, it is also the beginning of a new year, and typically we are all upbeat and optimistic. So it is a good way to find some closure within ourselves and move forward in that way. So I will tell you how this works. I will take you through it exactly the way he took us, the whole group, through this session. He said that you always start by, sending those vibrations to the universe for yourself first. Okay, before you go get on to forgiveness, there is something that you are going to call upon. Send those vibrations to the universe for yourself. तो वो भी हम पढ़ते हैं ना कि self care is very important because you cannot pour from an empty cup. तो हवाई जहाज में भी आपको बोला जाता है कि आपको अगर ऐसी कोई इमरजेंसी की अनाउंसमेंट होती है तो पहले अपना ऑक्सीजन मास्क लगाइए, फिर दूसरों का ऑक्सीजन मास्क लगाइए, because if you are alive you will be able to help somebody else. So one of the things that he said was that, and I'm emphasizing this because अगर आप ये खुद से practice करेंगे going forward, ideally this is the sequence that you should be following. The first thing that you do is you start with yourself. So there are 5 things that we are going to say, and I'm going to say them now. The order does not matter. The order can be flipped in any way. आपको उसको 5 ही शब्द है जो आपको याद रखने हैं, 1 2 3 4 5 का सीक्वेंस नहीं है. So what we start with doing is, जब मैं आपको इसके थ्रू ले जाऊंगी, first I'm explaining it to you theoretically. You will sit very comfortably before starting. We will do a little bit of breath work and then we will start with the actual meditation. तो जब आप शुरू करेंगे, you will start with these words. May I be happy. There are 5 words, like I said, so there are 5 sentences. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be loved. May I be safe. And may I be abundant. Not abandoned, abundant. Okay? I'm going to repeat this. We all want to be happy. I don't think there is any soul here who wants to be miserable. Okay, so we all want to be happy. We want to be healthy. That is why we are here at 7:30 in the morning on a Sunday. We want to be healthy. We all want to be loved. Even plants cannot survive without love and tender care. Pets cannot survive. Animals cannot survive. How will a human being survive? Okay, so we all want to be loved. We all want to be safe. We want to be safe in our house, in our country, in our own bodies. We want to be safe. And we want to be abundant. We want to be abundant with positive feelings, with a purpose in life, with good intentions. We want things that are going to do us good physically and emotionally, right? So we want to be abundant. Of course, we want to be abundant at a material level too, but these are also things that we need to remember. Okay, तो जब आप शुरू करेंगे, you will say these things with a lot of emotion, quietly in your mind. Even better if you can hear your voice in the mind, because that will take it to a different level. तो आपको उसको feel करके बोलना है. जब हम किसी से प्यार करते हैं, when we are expressing love, we say it with a lot of emotion. Otherwise, it sounds hollow and it sounds very shallow. Okay, so if you've seen that movie Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, mechanically one friend keeps saying I'm sorry and the other guy says जिस दिन दिल से निकलेगा ना, that day उसी दिन बोलना, ऐसे बोल के कोई मतलब नहीं है. So when you're saying these words, put your heart and soul into it literally. Okay, so we will start with that and then we will go on to the other bit. जो मैं words will remain the same, the context will shift a little bit. ठीक है? So on that note, we are going to start. There are only 5 things: happy, healthy, loved, safe, and abundant. The order does not matter. Okay, and every sentence you will say 3 times with a lot of feeling. तो अभी हम शुरू करेंगे. अगर आपको बैक रेस्ट यूज करना है, आप कर सकते हैं. अगर पैर थक गए हैं, आपको पैर को सीधा करना है, थोड़ा मूवमेंट करना है, कर लीजिए. Then we'll try to sit still while you're practicing this exercise. जिन्होंने चश्मा पहना है वो अभी निकाल सकते हैं. You're going to close your eyes. And I personally don't like the idea of wearing a smart watch or any watch or anything tight on my person when I'm doing these practices. तो अगर आपको निकालना है तो आप निकाल सकते हैं. Okay, आराम से बैठिए, पीठ सीधी रखिए, आंखें बंद रखिए. You may want to lift and roll back your shoulders. Open up the chest. Gently close your eyes. एक बार गहरी लंबी सांस भरें. Yes, you can keep your hands in Gyan Mudra or any way you like. धीरे धीरे release करें. For a few seconds, continue to be in awareness of your breath. You may make it slower and deeper to reach a certain level of stillness within your body and your mind. Now pay close attention to your own self, to the person that you are. Generate a feeling of appreciation and love towards yourself. When we think of a loved one, of somebody who's close to us, जो हमारे बहुत करीब है, we start feeling good from within. Now, start feeling the same way about your own self. We will now start by sending these vibrations to the universe that we have just understood. With a lot of feeling, with a lot of positive emotion and energy, start saying those things, everything 3 times at your own pace with a lot of emotion, quickly repeating it for everybody's benefit. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be loved. May I be safe. May I be abundant. Each thing to be said and felt deeply 3 times. Take your time. Even after you are done, continue to sit with your eyes closed. Once you are done, I want you to become aware of the sensations in your body. How is your body feeling? Maybe there is some sensation, maybe there is no sensation. That is also all right. How is your breath feeling at the moment? What are the emotions that you are feeling? This is your time for swadhyay or self-study. simply become aware of what this exercise has done to you at the physical, emotional, mental level. I am hoping that everybody is done. So you will continue to sit with your eyes closed and listen to me very carefully. I now want you to think of a person whom you have unfinished business with. Right now, I want you to think of somebody who is alive, who is still in his or her mortal body. It can be anyone, it can be a parent, a sibling, a blood relative, a friend, a colleague, anybody. Think of that person. Visualize that person. आपको ऐसे समझना है कि इस समय वो व्यक्ति आपके सामने ही है. And I want you to recollect the reason or the reasons because of which you have unfinished business with this person. A specific incident or a series of incidents जिसकी वजह से आपकी उनसे शायद बनती नहीं है, आपको उनके लिए गुस्सा है, उनसे आपको चोट पहुंची है. Recollect at least one episode clearly. In a way, I want you to relive that incident as keenly as possible. Recreate that day when it happened. आप कहां पर थे? क्या environment था? क्या बातें हुई थी? What words were exchanged? How did you feel at that moment? आपका क्या reaction था? How did it impact you that day, for days to come, maybe for years to come? Think of it very keenly. It's like watching a movie in replay. This episode that you have thought of, this person that you are thinking of, has created an impression on your body, your mind, and your soul. It is the reason why the pleasant feeling that you were experiencing when you thought of yourself, you sent those positive vibrations into the universe for yourself, created a pleasant sensation which has been replaced now. It has been replaced by not so pleasant memories that your body and your soul both are carrying within itself. With this awareness, you will practice the same thing all over again. And remember, with the same positive intention that you used for yourself, you have an opportunity here to free yourself from the baggage, from that impression that has been created. With the same positive energy and intention, you will say for that person, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be loved, may you be abundant. With the same intensity of positive emotions, 3 times. It may take longer than the first time, but do it from the bottom of your heart. I will stay quiet while you do this. I will wait for some more time. Please continue to sit with your eyes closed. Pay attention to your physical body once. Does it feel any different from what it was a few minutes ago? Based on my experience, I would assume that after the first exercise, when you wished yourself well, when you sent a prayer to the universe for yourself, your body had a different experience. When you brought into consciousness somebody whom you are not entirely at peace with, your body started feeling differently. Your breath would have changed. In some cases, facial expressions also changed. And that is all right. That is how organically the body and breath will respond. If you were able to, it is not an easy exercise to do. If you were able to do it, if you were able to push yourself to extend that genuine intention to somebody who has hurt you in the past, it would have been demanding on you. But if you did it well, your body would again have reached a different level of energy. Maybe not as strong as the first time round, but different and better than the tension you would have felt when you started thinking of that person and episode. Take a few moments to understand how we end up holding on to things that happened years ago. How they affect our energy, how they affect our chitta, our mana, our consciousness, our experience in this lifetime. It may or may not affect the person in question, but it affects us. It continues to create ripples within. We are now going to practice one more time. This time, I want you to think of somebody who is very special, very close to you. Visualize that person's face. Imagine the person is in front of you. You are looking into that person's eyes. And that in itself is making you feel good. Both of you are happy to be in each other's presence and company. Now, imagine yourself looking at this person right into their eyes and expressing the same 5 things from the bottom of your heart. Each thing 3 times. Happy, healthy, loved, safe, abundant. Go on and do this now. I will wait for a few more seconds. Once you are done, bring your awareness back to the physical body. More importantly, to the breath. Become aware of the sensations that you are feeling, the emotions that you are feeling. How would you describe your state of mind? Think about that. Seldom do we realize that the state of mind is intertwined with the state of the heart. Keeping your eyes closed, if you want to straighten your legs, do it very gently. अगर आपको पैर सीधे करने हैं, थोड़ा मूवमेंट करना है तो जरूर करिए, पर जेंटली करिए. Please continue to sit with your eyes closed. You may use a backrest, you may get into a different आसन, सुखासन, वज्रासन, जो भी आपको ठीक लगता है, आप वो करिए. We are now on the last leg of this journey. Before you get on to that, let us understand one thing. Your body gives you a host of signs through sensations, which I'm hoping you would have realized by now. किसी अच्छे के बारे में सोचो तो बॉडी से अलग सेंसेशन आता है, ब्रेथ अलग फील होती है, चेहरे का भाव बदल जाता है. किसी ऐसे के बारे में सोचो जिससे ज्यादा नहीं बनती है, तो यही चीज अलग हो जाती है. Now the irony is that if we keep hoping कि जो हमारे प्रिय हैं वही आसपास रहें या उनके साथ संबंध और घनिष्ठ होते जाएं, then also we are creating an impression. In Panchaklesha, it is called rag. Rag means attachment. बहुत ज्यादा किसी से attached होना is also going to create ripples, which is why बहुत सारे लोग प्राण नहीं त्याग पाते हैं. They are waiting to meet a beloved. They are waiting for the next pleasant incident to take place. So they are not able to let go. Too much of attachment is also going to create impressions and keep us bound. There are a lot of strings attached. Likewise, too much of dvesh is aversion. अगर किसी से हिसाब किताब चुकता करना है, there is a movie called Badlapur. There is a line in that movie that man is on a mission. He wants to avenge something terrible that is done to him. And then he does something drastically wrong. And then somebody tells him कि अभी तो तेरे पास बदला भी नहीं है पूरा करने के लिए. Now what are you going to live for? This is worse than death, he is told. अभी क्लेश भी नहीं रहा, aversion भी नहीं रहा. Okay? So अगर बहुत ज्यादा attachment है, राग है, तब भी हम बंधे हुए हैं. अगर बहुत ज्यादा क्लेश या aversion है, नफरत है, unfinished business है, grudges है, तब भी हम बंधे हुए हैं. Then how do you break that cycle? You break that cycle by wishing everybody well, and that is the last leg of today's journey. Sarve bhavantu sukhi naha. Okay, there is a prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhi naha. May everybody be happy. May everybody be healthy. May everybody see what is in their favor, and may nobody suffer. That is the last leg of this meditation. So we are going to do that prayer for everyone. We're going to send those energies to the universe. May everybody be happy. Everybody में सभी लोग आ गए ना, मेरे पसंद के भी और वो भी जो मुझे उतने पसंद नहीं है. So with the same energy, with the same emotion, with the same intention, happy, healthy, loved, safe, abundant. This is the prayer we're going to send out for everyone. You may start now. Everything to be said 3 times from the bottom of your heart. Become aware of how your body, your mind, your heart is feeling at the moment. Continue to sit with your eyes closed. I would like to tell you a few things from my experience when I practiced this meditation for the first time. I would love to hear from you. Unfortunately, we will not have the time to do that right now, but I will really look forward to hearing from you. Please feel free to share later as a message. From my experience, I will tell you that when I went in for this meditation, I thought of somebody whom I had unfinished business with for decades. And every time I would go back to that incident, it would make me very restless. And there was no way I could have a closure with that person because it was a one-time encounter. I never met that person again. It was a stranger I'm talking about. But after I practiced this, that incident has never bothered me again. It's not that I have forgotten what happened. It stopped to have control and power over me. And that is a very big thing. I could detach myself from it. I could set myself. Today, for any reason, if you experienced it, I hope you are aware of the impact. If for some reason you could not get there, please practice again. Remember that you have to start by yourself, with yourself, by sending that prayer to the universe for yourself. Then for somebody you want to attain closure with. Then think of someone who's already close to you. And then think about humanity at large. Remember that order is very important. If there is somebody who is no longer in their body, somebody who's not alive, and whenever you think of a particular episode with respect to that person and it agitates you, your body is telling you something. How do you find closure? The same sentences work for them also. Use that, have that. You can also use other ways. You could write a letter, you could journal it, you could say it aloud. There can be different ways of manifesting it. But if we do this, we are going to be the primary beneficiaries. When we wish somebody ill, when we curse someone, हम किसी से झगड़ा भी अगर करते हैं तो तकलीफ हमको पहले होती है, खून हमारा जलता है, ब्लड प्रेशर हमारा बढ़ता है. तो अगर आप किसी के लिए सद्भावना पालते हैं, आप किसी को ब्लेस करते हैं, आप किसी के लिए दिल से खुश होते हैं, आप किसी को माफ करते हैं, सबसे पहला बेनिफिट आपको होता है. And you will feel it in every cell of your body. With that awareness, we will get into Shavasana. If it is possible for you to keep your eyes closed and lie down, do that. If it is not possible, then be gentle in your movements. धीरे से आप आंखें खोलें, धीरे से अगर आपको मूव करना पड़े तो धीरे से करें. And please lie down. I will stop the recording at this point of time.